Welcome, Bhaiyo. This is a very new podcast. The goal with this podcast is very simple. I want to see if we can provide some genuine insight, something that is not available in the market for young creators and people who are trying to be creators. You have recently seen tremendous amount of success with your channel.
Yeah.
I've seen specifically in the business side of things where you are covering a lot of different businesses. So I want to see if we can, by the end of the podcast, whatever questions that a young person might be, suffering through. Should I be using AI? Should not I be using AI? Should I be learning ABC skill? Will AI disrupt it? How should I position myself? All of that, we will try to answer as many as we can. That is the goal. But before we go with that, what I want to really focus on is first, let's let the audience know who we are. What do you do? So I'll just want you to go first and just give yourself a little bit of an introduction, what you have done, how you come here, what was your background, and how did you become a full-time creator, and how has it been since you've become a full-time creator?
Got it. Thanks, Ocus, for the invite. Hi, guys. I'm Abhinav. I run a page called Abhinav Says Hi, and I create content around family businesses and old money because when I was figuring what content to create, I realized that there are a lot of creators in the startup space, a lot of creators in the business space, but I thought that family business is a niche which is kind of overlooked. But India is a very prominent family business kind of society, right? So I thought that, okay, since I am being a part of my family business and there's a gap in the market and I'm interested in that. So I found a trifecta of my interests aligning with creating this kind of content. By profession, I have been a designer. So I kind of look things from a very design lens that, okay, how a video is designed, thinking about the audience. So recently gained some traction. And I think it has been a very serendipitous, crazy experience, I would say. A lot of people reaching out, a lot of brands reaching out, a lot of event invites, meeting some crazy people. And other thing is like people recognizing you. So that feels pretty good, I would say. That has been my journey. And yeah, here I'm talking to the maestros of content. So yeah, it would be a fun conversation and hopefully we actually give some nice insights.
Awesome.
Hi guys, my name's Kailash. I used to run a channel called Official Broke Brothers. We were pretty much the first to start Vox Pop in India, like officially on Instagram and YouTube. Vox Pop was there for a while. We saw a gap. So I think my strength is pretty much looking for a gap in an existing niche that nobody is covering, kind of go ham on that and essentially learn and create better content. We scaled it to around 1.3 million across channels, 1.4 million across channels. And yeah, I've been doing content for 3 years now. All in all, now I run Gen Z, and Gen Z is India's offline creator school. I teach a bunch of students across different niches, which is amazing for me because I can see their 0 to 1 journey now, and like it reminds me a lot of my 0 to 1 journey. I love what I'm doing.
Awesome, bro. So to the people who don't know me, which is how could you not know me? But my name is Ocus. I've been creating content for as long as I can remember. The dream that I've had since I started thinking about myself as an identity, started thinking of myself, has been to full-time do content. I'm also the co-founder of AV. We were able to build AV TV. Right now, I'm really focused on building AV Video School. One of the things that I realized, because I come from a background that necessarily did not have, me and one of my friends were talking about this, right? There is a lot of effort that it takes for many folks who are young to even be on the starting line, especially somebody like me. I did not have access to great cameras. I did not, because a great camera would cost, let's say, 2.5 lakh rupees. If you want to go and have a decent enough mic, like these mics cost 50, 60K. If you want to have an editor, you would probably be paying him anywhere between 30, 50K. And if it's a really good editor, you'll be paying him over 50K to a lakh, right? So that's what I experienced, where I did not have, and even where I was operating, I did not have anybody who would be able to even help me create content apart from some of my friends. So it ended up becoming a boon than a curse. Back then I used to really hate the lifestyle I was living. Oh, why don't I have a great camera, or why don't I have ABCD? But thanks to that, what the situation forced me to do was learn each and every aspect of content creation. I learned how to edit, I learned how to animate, I learned how to speak, I learned how to write, and all of these skills individually, I really focused on getting really good at them. And thanks to that, I had this capacity to really break down how a video is made. What is the process of it? How do you come up with an idea? And thanks to that, we were able to start AV Video School. Now I'm training students who really want to become editors, just want to step into content creation. I'm also a part of Gen Z, and now at this point we've trained over 4,000 editors. All of them are doing exceptionally well. Bunch of them have gotten jobs in Blinkit, Zerodha, Zoho, so all the top companies, all the top creators, Ali Abdal, Tanmay Bhatt, Varunai, all of them are hiring from us. So it has been a crazy journey in the last three and a half years. I remember I started a podcast way back, if there is somebody who'd remember it, in 2021 called Person Behind the Persona. We called it PBTB. That is where also I met Varun. And the goal of that was just to create an internet specific podcast, talk about creators, how they're doing it. That didn't do that well because when I launched it was just 2020, 2021. And back then, this level of boom was not happening in the creator space. In the last half a decade, really a lot of people have just decided that I want to become creator. So back then we were slightly early. Hopefully with this podcast, we are able to really capture that market once again. With that being said, what I really want to dive deep into is this trendy topic that has really taken everybody with storm in every single aspect, which has been AI, right? Generative AI has just become the talk of the town. And in my opinion, after coding, content has been one field that AI is disrupting more than anything. And especially what has started happening in the recent times is a conversation around the canonical word would be slop. Conversation around AI slop, which now AI is able to generate videos which has no essentially soul within seconds. And what I've seen here is Meta has rolled out generative feed video, which is called Vibes. Sora 2 has recently come out, where you are now able to, be next to Hitler when he killed himself, or you can be in Gaza figuring out what is happening there, or you can see how the pyramids were built, or whatever you want. And they've also launched it with a social platform kind of thing where you can create videos with your friends, which is very interesting. But a lot of people have been really worried with it, especially recently a channel called Kazat. I love this channel, absolutely adore the kind of videos they make. And they released this video which was called AI Slop is Destroying the Internet, where they really talked about how they personally are kind of worried with the use of AI as a technology, LLMs, generative AI, and they're worried that if this keeps on going, how the internet is going to shape itself and how disruption is going to come, or if internet is essentially going to lose its soul. There has been this term that has been really floating around, which is called dead internet theory, which is basically the entire internet is going to become synthetic and there is not going to be a creator behind it, and it's not going to be me connecting with Abhinav or me connecting with Kailash. It's just going to be a fake person making fake videos. He might not even have insight around it. And this has also kind of been building with faceless channels. We'll talk about that in a bit. But that is something that I want to talk about. I really want to talk about how people are feeling. Like Casey Neistat also made a video about it where he talked about how he feels that we are essentially fucked thanks to Sora 2. I'm not too sure. I don't buy into that specific narrative. Along with that, what we have seen is Nawal is also saying that creation without a creator is meaningless. He believes that, if you're just able to create videos on the fly, he doesn't believe that it's going to have any impact, or it does not have any meaning essentially. I really want to know how your guys' experience with AI has been, how you guys have used it. Is that something you feel that, oh my God, maybe I can lose the platform that I have spent so much time building? Do you feel like you can get disrupted? What is both of your experience has been?
There are two sides to it. One, from a very creator perspective, while I'm creating content, AI has been very helpful, I would say. Sometimes we need parts of content which we can't find on the internet, right? Like sometimes we need some kind of visualizations which no one has created, or I don't have the resource to get them created, right? So that's where I think AI helps me better the storytelling, I would say, better present in a better designed way so that they have a better visualization and understanding of what I'm gonna talk about. And the other part is like the social synthetic video feeds, right? Like it's like TikTok, you're seeing Sam Altman doing some bunch of random things. But I'm not sure, like, with the hype stay, it's like Meta Threads, right? Like Threads came. For the first 5 days, I was super active. Everyone was just going berserk using Threads, putting out a lot of threads. But suddenly the conversation has died.
Yeah. Same had happened with Clubhouse.
Yeah, the conversation died. So I think the market decides what happens with all these videos, right? Like if the market stops sharing all these kind of fun stuff and it becomes boring, then the platform will essentially die, right? So I think the cameos feature is a pretty social element that they have added, which might sustain it for a bit longer because India hasn't opened the access yet. So Indians, they'll use their creative techniques, they'll use some creativity and make some fun videos. But I don't know the long-term viability yet. will people be able to sustain on that brain rot content or AI slop content for long run? I'm not sure. I don't know how that pans out.
My take is very simple. If you can watch human-generated slop, for how long will you watch it? If you can't watch that for too long, what's the reason? Like, why would you say that you would watch AI slop for too long? For example, when TikTok came, we had a bunch of dance reels happen. We had a bunch of, like, someone's walking, he'll give water, he'll pee that from his mouth, all of that rubbish. You could watch it, you'd find it cringe, you'd watch it for a while, and then you'd stop watching it.
Right.
Now that same IQ is going into AI slop.
Correct.
Why would it sustain any longer than that? Also, outside of that, while I say this, I'm banking on that slop increasing, because when you see bad quality content increase, then creators like us who actually put effort into content and can make that difference, they'll understand that, oh, these guys, like, our value will kind of, like,
But
the
I think
perception of our value will
that will
increase.
be a function of taste of people, no?
Yeah.
Like if my taste is brain rot content, my feed is full of brain rot, I'll keep on consuming that.
This is what I was observing. So in the building that I live, right, there's some bunch of these young girls and kids, and they're probably like 7-year-old, 8-year-old, and they have access, and they're watching brain rot. And then there are some like watchmen are there, and all those folks, slightly older, even uncles who are in their 60s, 70s, they are open to watching brain rot content. Every single person who is around the age of 13, 15 to let's say 25, this specific band, because I deal with this specific band a lot. That is the kind of content that I make. That is where it's targeted to. Essentially all the people who buy my product are of this band, 15-year-olds to 25-year-olds, sometimes 45-year-olds join. What I've realized is a lot of them have started taking these traditional breaks of कि 2 hours हो गए, अब मुझे Instagram नहीं यूज करना है, अब मेरा बहुत ज्यादा हो गया, ओवरवेल्म फीलिंग होने लग जाती है कि कितना ज्यादा Instagram यूज कर लिया. One of the more prominent conversation that has happened in this specific band has been कि आपका screen time कितना है और कितना Instagram पे है. उसके ऊपर से one of the things that I have started realizing is every single time throughout that brain rot content, okay, I see one content that has given me tremendous amount of value in that 1 minute, because giving value in 30 seconds to 1 minute is incredibly difficult. But every single time I've seen somebody who's created a video which is 1 minute long, which is great, the top comment is, have I subscribed to the premium side of Instagram?
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden every single one of them is, wow, I love the fact that for the first time in forever I have gotten a minute long content that has actually satiated my hunger for good content. And that is what I have also noticed. We were creating videos on AV Video School, and we grew from let's say 0 to 150k around that time in about 4 months. And one thing that we were noticing again and again was we were getting 10 million views, we were getting 20 million views. So views were there, but bunch of them were not following us. And because there was not enough following that we were getting, we were also not able to get like people to convert. Because for me, I don't treat views as the main metric. That is not the game that I deal with. I'm very focused on, if I'm getting views, what is the views to conversion ratio? How many of these people who are watching me are going to then go and buy my product? That is how we function. That is how we have established the entire ecosystem. That is how every single person operates in this organization. So what I've realized is, as long as you're not providing value, you can pull views, but that views is essentially nothing. There are a bunch of creators that I know that have 10 million followers, but even if I were to tell you their name, you have no recollection of them. And that has happened again and again and again. So what I have personally realized is, as long as you are able to create videos that genuinely have a transaction between the person that is watching it, and then you're providing some value, that is when that view becomes something worthwhile. Either he will tap, either he will remember you. We watched 100 reels. Since I've come here, I've watched 100 reels. I've been on my Instagram a bunch of times and I've watched 100 reels. I don't remember a single reel. I've watched YouTube. I remember every single person that I've watched. So it's very important for you to realize, yes, AI slop is going to come. Yes, it's going to flood the internet with brain rot content. But every single time I come across something that as a 16-year-old I want to know, maybe I'm an artist, somebody comes and he has solved a problem that I've been facing. I've been struggling with drawing hands, and in that 1 minute he gives me a solution that solves how to draw hands. I love that guy. I'll follow him immediately. Same thing that happens with AV Video School. The way we make videos is going against all the advice that the YouTube gurus give us or the Instagram gurus give us. Instagram gurus give us choti videos वीडियोस बनाओ, 30 सेकंड वाली वीडियो बनाओ, 40 सेकंड वाली वीडियो बनाओ। दे से कि आप ज्यादा वैल्यू मत प्रोवाइड करो, हर 2 मिनट में चेंजेस लेके आओ, कट 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 कट, इस तरीके से बनाओ। दैट इज व्हाट दे गिव अस, दैट इज हाउ यू विल गेट व्यूज, राइट? And we have hired bunch of these folks in our sister company Yas, and I've talked to them. I really understand how they think. My videos, AV Video School, which is currently the fastest growing editing based channel in the country and has gotten tremendous amount of views to conversion ratio. It has made us quite a bit of money as well. My videos are 1 minute 29 seconds, longer than all the videos that usually these YouTube gurus make. My videos are extremely dense. If somebody like my mom were to watch that video, she will not be able to understand it. So I have really focused on figuring out who my audience is and then solving that problem for them. And that is what I believe 16-year-old, 18-year-old, 20-year-old, 25-year-old, even 30-year-olds look for. If I am a doctor, that is what my social circle is about, right? And if I can somehow get some level of insight that none of these guys have through the internet, through talking to somebody or through just watching some video, that is where I feel like, oh my God, I learned something new or I showed these guys. And that only happens if I find a really good creator. A lot of people keep on asking me like, bro, what is going to happen now that AI is here? First of all, I just want to let everybody know, I'm not a technologist. I've never coded in my entire life, barely know anything about apps and how to build them. So I don't have that insight. That being said, I've been very lucky to work with bunch of engineers who do this on a regular basis, and they have essentially given me a booster. So they will find some new tool, some new workflow, some new model, or they'll fine tune the model, and then they'll come and give it to me and be like, dude, what is it that you think you can do with this? And then I will double down and figure something out with it. When I was animating and when I was editing on a regular day, one of the most time consuming thing that I used to do was I would go and find assets. Yeah. If I want to show hand, I will have to find an image of that hand via Google Images or via FreePic or via ABCD. Now I can just generate it, right?
The AI slop gives the powers in our fingers. Like if someone decides to make these kind of short educative videos through this whatever AI technology that they have, then I think there will be another premium
Correct.
value side of the internet as well. I think the power, the onus is now on our or the rest of the janta's hands.
So when I said that when it goes to the average human,
the
average human does not have the intellect to create value-adding content.
But they'll do it for fun, no? Like then.
No, so the knowledge base that comes with the value is not innate to them. So
right.
They will have to cultivate that knowledge base
if you
and then be.
Think about the signal and noise. I think it's a right signal and noise, right? Currently, also, if you see, there's a lot of noise, very less signal. I think if AI slop increases, the noise will also increase. But the people who genuinely want to make some good content, the good side of the internet will also increase. But the ratio will always be bad because that's how the whole ecosystem works, right?
Yeah, 99.97% of all videos posted on the internet gets less than 1,000 views. The job of algorithm is to figure out which one of these are garbage and which one is good.
So like there are a lot of pages and all, right? Like they just make fun edits. They're not making money. They're not converting their views. Correct. They might be doing some small brand deals with a logo on their video.
Steak.
But I don't want to name the brand. But जो उनका actual अगर कहे कि बहुत ज़्यादा बड़ा धंधा बनाना है तो वो I don't think that would be possible. But वो तो genuine content से ही आएगा ना. YouTube पे if you post a long form, it's actually a good long form. It will stay for 5, 10, whatever, XYZ.
Yeah, AIB की videos आप अभी भी जाके देखोगे.
You still talk about them, right? That's actually good content. But अगर तुमने एक AI brain rot video देखा, you will probably forget it in like an hour.
Yeah.
Maybe 30 minutes. You won't even talk about it. अगर suppose AIB ने वो video AI के through बनाता, same storytelling, तो I assume people would still remember that because उन्होंने लिखा sketch इतना अच्छा था. It was a very relatable story, very emotion evoking story, right? Right now, there's also a lot of brain rot content. वो memes बनाते थे, कुछ भी कोई चलते हुए गिर गया, that became a content.
One of the things that I keep on telling my team is internet को आप कोई भी टेक्नोलॉजी दे दो, बेहतरीन से बेहतरीन टेक्नोलॉजी दे दो, इंटरनेट मीम्स बनाएगा और वो पॉर्न बनाएगा. बस यही दो चीजें आती हैं एंड दिस इज द मास थिंग. उसमें से कुछ लोग उभर के आएंगे जो समझ पाएंगे कि ओके दिस इज द काइंड ऑफ कंटेंट दैट विल वर्क. आई वाज टॉकिंग टू देम लाइक दे वर लाइक पर भाई अब सबके पास एक्सेस है ना, अब तो सब बना पाएंगे. एंड आई वाज टेलिंग देम करेक्ट, अब सब बना पाएंगे. सो आई वाज गिविंग देम एग्जांपल ऑफ बॉलीवुड. ओके, सो लेट्स गो ऑन टू आवर ओल्डर सिस्टर. 100 years Bollywood has had to evolve. They've created systems. The most amount of money has been gone into Bollywood. That being said, let's see how the directors or filmmakers who are at the top, how do they operate. Sandeep Reddy Vanga, Rajkumar Hirani, all of these biggest guys, right? They have become a household name, and they've gotten to a point where if they want to make a movie, they can raise millions and millions of dollars from the market to execute whatever it is that their vision entails, right? Essentially, same thing that they can do, we can do as well on a much lower scale, thanks to Sora 2 and other AI models. As they get better, hopefully we'll be able to bridge this gap, right? But if Sandeep Reddy Wanga can do the same kind of content, he can get the same kind of actors, and so can Rajkumar Hirani. How do these guys differentiate? They can have the same camera angles, they can have the same actors, they can have the same crazy VFX. They differentiate themselves by understanding कि okay, आज की audience को क्या चाहिए. There is a attention pool. This attention pool is always shifting. चुप चुप के जब मूवी बनी थी, it was essentially like a very average performing movie. Now it has become a cult classic because उस जमाने में वो चली नहीं, उस जमाने की ऑडियंस को वो इतना बेहतरीन तरीके से पकड़ी नहीं, आज के जमाने को पकड़ रही है. सलमान खान हैज अ वेरी ग्रेट कोट अबाउट दिस वेयर ही सेज कि अगर उस जमाने पे ऑडियंस ने एक्सेप्ट नहीं की, बकवास मूवी है, मत बनाओ. एसेंशियली इट्स द सेम. यू कैन हैव एक्सेस टू द ग्रेटेस्ट टूल्स. सोरा टूल से आपको जो चाहिए आप बना सकते हो, पर जब तक आपको ये नहीं समझेगा कि आज की ऑडियंस को चाहिए क्या, इज इट like I give them this example as a content creator, who are you, and I tell them that you are a jester. आप जब पुराने जमाने में जो किंग होता था, जब उनका वो बैठता था, क्या बोलते हैं उसको, सभा बैठती थी, right? What a jester would come and do is he would say something that everybody is feeling but is too scared to say, and because he said that, everybody would start laughing कि अरे यार ये तो मैं भी फील कर रहा था. That is exactly what we are doing, right? एवी वीडियो स्कूल में मैं जब आके वीडियो बनाता हूँ, मैं ये सोच रहा हूँ कि आपको क्या चाहिए. अच्छा, आपको स्पाइडर वर्स वाला एनिमेशन चाहिए, आपको सीखना है, ये लो बन गए. And that is when things click. So you can keep creating slop videos, sure, and you will be able to get millions of views, but because you're getting millions of views and everybody is able to do it, there is no differentiated factor.
Also एक और चीज है, like you raise a very interesting point that everyone has access, but अगर तू थोड़ा हिस्टोरिकली भी देखे, हर चीज का एक्सेस सबको मिल ही रहा है, बट फिर भी देयर इज अ थिंग, राइट? लाइक ओनली 1% ऑफ द पीपल आर क्रिएटर्स एंड 99% आर जस्ट द कंज्यूमर्स, व्हाटएवर द रेशियोज आर, राइट? तो इंटरनेट पहले से था, लेकिन स्टिल जो ऑनलाइन बिजनेसेस हैं वो हर कोई नहीं कर सकता, बट स्टिल एवरीवन हैज एन एस्पिरेशन टू डू इट. लाइक अब फिर से एवरीवन हैज गॉटन दीस एआई टूल्स, सब बोलेंगे हम कर सकते हैं, करेक्ट, बट करने वाले
एडॉप्शन भी तो आना
है ना, मतलब कि बोल तो रहे हैं करेंगे, बट कौन एक्चुअली जाके डाउनलोड करके उसको करेगा, आइडिया लगाएगा, दिमाग लगाएगा, उसको पोस्ट करेगा, उसका भी तो हमें रेशियो देखना पड़ेगा ना.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I want to talk about something else. A lot of people have been talking about it, and especially in India, because I get to talk to a lot of these kids who are on the internet and who think कि पैसे कैसे कमाएं, ठीक है? And they started talking about faceless channels and YouTube automation, ठीक है? कि मैं ना 11 Labs से हाँ ये ऑडियो निकालूंगा, N18 मैं यूज कर लूंगा, और मैं I'll just start spamming content. Now it does work to a certain degree. There has been some creators who have done it. मैं थोड़ा सा मैं उनका नाम भूल गया हूँ, पर ये स्क्रीन पे ये रहे 2-4 जो एक्चुअली बहुत बढ़िया काम करते हैं. Vono is one of them. I love that guy. He does a fantastic way of running these faceless channels. What do you guys think? And especially in the context of India, क्योंकि हम लोग India specific channel run कर रहे हैं. What do you guys think about faceless channels and what is happening in India?
Dude, I don't know. This might be very weird way of thinking about it. I think मतलब some people from the West made the idea that okay, faceless channels make money. They made a lot of tutorials on YouTube. Then it got kind of picked in India. Couple of people made whatever good money from. They were the early movers, and then they started making tutorials. And now everyone is jumping on the bandwagon कि we'll also create, because we want fast money. Everyone wants fast money कि YouTube पे डालेंगे 10 मिलियन व्यूज आएंगे, हमें $100 मिलेगा, whatever XYZ, और 8,000 रुपए हो गए, I'm pretty happy. But वो Western model work करता है. I think India is a very different country. Ultimately, though, it's money you will make when there's a conversion, right? Like you also said that. Why do people buy from AV Video School? Because there's a face. There's Papa Ocus ka face, there's Martin ka face, there's Achina ka face, Varun. There's bunch of people involved. Their credibility is involved. Their name is on the line. That's why people have much more trust in buying that. Faceless channel kya hai? It's just bunch of graphics, sounds running in. You don't know who's behind. And then how come someone will trust that channel to click that buy button?
Right.
छोटा 1-2% कोई कर लेगा, ठीक है, कोई 200 रुपए का 50 रुपए का प्रोडक्ट है, ठीक है, फंजीज के लिए कर लिया. बट इफ इट्स अ हाई टिकट थिंग वेयर the conversions actually matter, I don't think faceless channels would work. It's just a narrative to allure people into thinking it's a fast money game, which is, I feel like, is not true.
Right.
As of now in India, probably you can try it outside the country, it might work, but I don't think India में चलेगा. मतलब फिर वही वाली बात होगी ना, views तो आ रहे हैं, but जो तुम्हें आउटकम अल्टीमेटली चाहिए था पैसा, वो कहाँ से आएगा? तुम लोगो लगा दोगे, तुम्हें वो कहेगा कि 30 वीडियो में इतने लोगों में हम तुम्हें इतने पैसे दे देंगे, बट विल दैट मनी बी वर्थ योर टाइम? हाँ ठीक है, ऑपरेशन करके तुम एक पैसिव इनकम, वो साइड पॉकेट मनी टाइप्स कर सकते हो, बट आई एम नॉट श्योर इफ इट विल बी एक्चुअल बिजनेस अपॉर्चुनिटी.
What do you think?
I think you'll have to get a little creative with the faceless channel. Meaning, you can make something for kids maybe. You can make it in different languages maybe. You can tell like a really, like you can create a thriller page like just that tells only like thriller stories.
Right, Bisbo does this really well.
Yeah.
But the only thing which is not, I don't understand how they make money.
So that is again the concern because the people with the face are also not making money.
Right.
So how will the ones without the face
Maybe
make money?
maybe it solves for top of the funnel, just for
Possibly.
awareness purposes. Like suppose if I'm a D2C brand, I wanna educate people about say knee pain.
Yeah.
I make some faceless content around knee pain. ठीक है, just educating people and subtly integrated. Okay, XYZ is a knee pain brand. You can use this product if you apply this patch, and just keep on spamming the videos, hoping that okay, 1 out of 100 videos work and it covers for all the calls because it's very cheap, right? You
No,
just set
bro,
up
but
and
my concern even with something like that is you can do that and there can be a doctor telling you that this is how you solve for knee pain versus someone who's just like gone through the process of solving their own knee pain. If that person comes and says this is what I did,
Correct.
and this is how I solved my knee pain,
Right.
even the doctor is not taken seriously sometimes.
Yeah.
Like your fat loss influencers are people who said this is how fat I was, this is how like I became right now, right? And then there's a doctor saying, yeah, but like if you want to lose weight, these are things you have to do. Now the doctor is someone who's studied, like he's educated, but like you'll have a gym bro come and be like, yeah, but this is how I did it.
But-
and like in my head, I'm like, bro, your best friend's a dumbbell and the other guy is a doctor. Like,
But
how
now
are you not?
think about it, like VO3 has gotten pretty good, right? Being a technologically optimist, I think that it will get better over time. What if they use just to prompt VO3 to create a doctor with an animation showing that okay, this is.
I think there'll be a law, like a YouTube or a Instagram, like a
Yeah,
Meta law.
you'll fall in trouble for that.
Yeah,
like if you are a fake doctor, एक तो भाई I love doctors की community because हम लोग doctors के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. भाई जो अभी recently last 3 साल में doctors की community internet पे बनी है, these guys are ruthless.
Yeah, bro.
Bro, they will, if you are giving them some false ज्ञान और तुम्हारी वीडियोस पे मिलियन व्यूज हैं, तुम्हारे चिथड़े उड़ा देते हैं वो लोग, साइंस वाइंस पकड़ के पूरा, एंड दे आर नॉट इवन काइंड टू द अदर डॉक्टर्स एज वेल. तू 4 मिलियन व्यूज होने तेरे, भाई मेरे को फर्क नहीं पड़ता, तूने गलत बोला है.
Just as an example, let's say in other field as well, like I make a mock sports person and be like, "Ki, this is the."
They'll come after you, bro.
Because if
who
you
just
see
runs
Instagram
marathon.
right now, there are a lot of people making fake interviews, right? Like there's an interview girl ki, what kind of TV do you watch at home? वो बोलता है कि I use say ABCD brand TV, it has this 10-15 features, and a lot of brands are running ads like these, right? So and people, I'm not sure what the numbers are, but people might be clicking, using, that's why they are running, right? So वो भी तो, that would be a faceless channel only, no?
Correct.
Technically.
It would be a faceless content only. So
Correct.
टेक्नोलॉजी बेटर होगा तो मुझे लगता है कहीं ना कहीं वो भी बढ़ेगा. And also I think the bad side is the scams will also increase.
Right.
And
मॉक पुलिसमैन बनाया,
Yeah,
I send you a WhatsApp वीडियो की डियर ओकस आपका ये चलान आया whatever, तो आप इसको भर दीजिए. And people who aren't that aware, like उनको जिनको नहीं पता, वो already.
But government is stepping in.
Yeah.
Like हम luckily, हाँ सही बोल रहा है, स्कैम्स बहुत तेजी से बढ़ रहे हैं भयंकर रूप से.
जब AI नहीं था तब भी इतने सारे स्कैम्स होंगे, लाइक यू मस्ट हैव सीन अ लॉट ऑफ वेब सीरीज एंड ऑल, राइट? लाइक बिना उसके भी लोगों को पैसे कट रहे थे. पहले तो सिर्फ ऑडिटरी सेंसेस से स्कैम हो रहा था या फिर टेक्सचुअल. अब तो तुम्हारे पास विजुअल इमेजरी सेंसरी होगी कि भाई कुछ भी एक फेक इमेज बन के आ गया है, AI इमेज व्हिच इज your image being morphed into something कि आप ऐसे करके जीतोगे. So the scams.
Yeah, but the platforms and the government have stepped in very well because Twitter पे आप देख लो with the community notes, they have gotten like really good at every single
But on
time.
Instagram, on WhatsApp.
Instagram has also launched community notes. Essentially like same exact. Zuckerberg भाई साहब कॉपी करने में माहिर है. वो स्टोरी Snapchat का उठा लिए, community notes यहाँ पे उठा लिए, सब एकदम, हाँ बिल्कुल एकदम. तो platforms are stepping in. But what I have realized is
एक और भी चीज देखना, इंडिया का population is so big.
हाँ मतलब 1% को तो आप कैप्चर कर ही लो.
कहीं ना कहीं तो उनको मार्केट वो होता है ना कि उनको कहीं ना कहीं अपना नीश मिल जाएगा.
Yeah, but these again this becomes way short term game. I don't know how can you scale? How do you go to 1 crore a year in revenue? How do you go to 10 crores a year in revenue? And अगर आपको मतलब मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि अगर मेरे पास 30 लोग की टीम है, उन सबकी सैलरीज भी जाएगी. ये जो गेम्स है, you can make as an individual, you can probably do like 50K, 1 lakh rupees. Like India is by nature a low trust society. The beautiful example that you had given was Super U came in and it became such a massive thing because एक रणवीर सिंह का एक ब्रांड है, उसने he introduced himself as a co-founder of the company. He said that I have been invested for the last 1.5 year building it, and he brought the credibility that he had to that brand and association.
And I think Super U also did a interesting job of promoting some behind the scenes कि ठीक है how they are building the whole thing. They built the narrative of कि प्रोटीन करते हैं इस तरह से everything has a protein and all that stuff, right? So I think India needs faces to
until unless तुम ऐसा कुछ कर रहे हो, because one of the channel like मैंने जब start किया था, one of the very first videos अगर आप पापा Ocus पे जाके देखोगे are video essays. अब वो video essays में मेरी शक्ल बहुत टाइम तक नहीं दिखती है, पर फिर भी मैंने some level of cult audience में ला पाया था.
तेरा नाम attached है ना?
Correct. उसमें मेरी वॉइस थी और मैंने जिस तरीके से वो लाया वो बहुत क्रिएटिवली, मैं बहुत ज़्यादा मेहनत करता था. उसके ऊपर से जो मैं टॉपिक्स पिक कर रहा था वो ऐसे वैसे नहीं थे, वो बहुत हाइपर सेग्रीगेशन दैट इज हैपनिंग इन इंडियन गेमिंग कम्युनिटी, हाउ मैनिपुलेशन ऑन यूट्यूब इज एग्जिस्टिंग, बट इवन देन मोनेटाइजिंग दैट वाज इनक्रेडिबली डिफिकल्ट.
मुझे एक पैरेलल थॉट पे अगर मैं लेकर जाता हूँ इसको, सपोज आई एम अ ब्रांड, राइट? आई सेट अप दिस N8N ऑटोमेशन की एक मैं 15-20 चैनल बना देता हूँ कि तुम्हें हर चैनल पे एक इस तरह का फेसलेस कंटेंट बनाना है, एंड इट कॉस्ट मी से $5 पर चैनल, $10 चैनल मतलब $50 रफली मेरा मंथली कॉस्ट है. और अगर मुझे हर चैनल से एक मंथ में एक सेल भी मिलता है, तो डोंट यू थिंक दैट विल बी एन ROI फॉर अ ब्रांड, कंसिडरिंग इट्स अ ब्रेन रॉट स्लॉप फेसलेस? बट अगर एज अ ब्रांड मेरे पास रिसोर्सेज नहीं है, सिर्फ मेरे $50 लग रहे हैं, और अगर $50 डाल के मेरे को $500 का सेल आ रहा है, तो मेरे लिए तो वो 10x ROI है एज अ कैपिटलिस्टिक viewpoint.
I'll give you an example. So if you want to create a faceless channel, the easiest way to do it is go to InVideo, give a prompt, it will give you the entire video. You don't even have to edit it.
True.
You can, but you don't even have to. Even they have a face on their channel. And there's a reason they have a face on their channel.
No, I'm just thinking, this is a food of thought.
नहीं, बराबर. And it's also like the problem with this is these are all workflows. जो as a business, what am I doing, right? These days, I am constantly figuring out, are there ways that I can use that have not necessarily been explored. अब वो N8N से कर रहा हूँ या फिर मैं guerrilla market कर रहा हूँ कि billboard कर रहा हूँ, and that is how I make money. I have constantly have to figure out new ways that not everybody is using. But the problem is the moment I figure out something that is working, दुनिया जहाँ same happened with Facebook ads. Same thing is happening right now with content. The moment you see कि अरे influencers लोग यार बहुत बढ़िया सेल्स लेके आ रहे हैं, मैं भी लॉन्च करता हूँ, 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 और सब लॉन्च करने लग जाते हैं. उसकी वजह से अब अगर आप देखोगे अभी भी कैक, अगर मुझे कैक वाला गेम खेलना है जहाँ पे मैंने ₹1 डाला तो मैं 1.2 रुपीज 1.7 रुपीज कमा सकता हूँ फॉर मी टू गेट 10x रेशियो. और अगर ऐसी कोई चीज है जो वर्क कर रही है, इतनी जल्दी वो क्या कहते हैं डिमिनिशिंग मार्जिनल रिटर्न्स के उस पे पहुंच जाती है.
एक देयर इज अ ग्राफ, राइट? सम D2C गाय पोस्टेड कि हर चैनल कहीं ना कहीं जाके इट प्लेटूज एंड यू हैव टू फिगर आउट, इट्स कॉल्ड एस कर्व्स आई थिंक, कि मतलब वो जाता है ऊपर तक, फिर एक जगह प्लेटू हो जाता है, एंड देन यू हैव टू फिगर आउट नेक्स्ट एस कर्व, वो फिर उठता है एंड देन इट प्लेटूज अगेन. सो यू नीड टू कीप ऑन फाइंडिंग स्टैकिंग दोस एस कर्व्स टू ग्रो.
राइट. So that is what I have also realized. I wanted to be a YouTuber. और अगर मुझे कोई भी मैकेनिज्म मिलता है जिससे मैं यूट्यूबर बन सकता है, by YouTuber I mean कि सस्टेनेबल लाइफस्टाइल में मैं जी रहा हूँ, like my family is sorted, I would have done it. And at the amount of time I've tried running a faceless channel, and by the way, I've collabed with the Right Opinion. He's a faceless channel with 1.2 million subscribers. I've collabed with Mug Cup. Right now his channel got deleted, but that guy was insane. He had pulled 50 million views. And ये सब मैं 2018-19 में मैंने किए हैं, तो मुझे मालूम है it is incredibly difficult for you to monetize it in India. मतलब brands don't want to touch you. And India में ad revenue doesn't exist. India में मतलब the amount of views we pulled 50 million views last month, and we know कि वो 50 million views से हमको कितना पैसा आया. हमें
yeah, because you have faces involved.
Yeah,
they come to the website.
Correct. I have a 30-man team. उन 30-man team में से मे बी 2 बंदों की सैलरी एड रेवेन्यू से मैं, चलो 3 बंदों की सैलरी मैं एड रेवेन्यू से निकाल सकता हूँ. इट्स नॉट अ कंसिस्टेंट वे ऑफ गोइंग अबाउट इट.
एंड यू हैव द प्रेशर ऑफ मेकिंग बैंगर हिट्स एवरी मंथ, तभी एड रेवेन्यू आएगा ना, ऐसे
या
फ्री में तो नहीं आएगा.
और बहुत बार तो स्ट्राइक पड़ गई, चैनल डिलीट हो गया, फिर क्या करोगे? चल दिया पूरा तुम्हारा प्लेटफॉर्म चल दिया. But yeah, so that is what I have also realized. All right, that is also a good tangent. Let's go on to the next one. All right, creator workspaces. ठीक है, this is something that I very, very, very much believe in. One of the things that I have realized is because I started off as an individual creator who had to shoot, write, edit, upload, do everything on his own. And I very quickly realized if you don't have an infrastructure, in place that allows you to do the things that you want to do. Like for example, we have a studio over here. Okay, we have a studio over here. There is a studio being built down. All three these studios combined, minimum that's a 15,000 square feet का I think area है, ठीक है. And हमारे पास 8-9 लाख का ब्लैक मैजिक का कैमरा है. And I'm not trying to flex, but the reason I'm telling you is because even after me having access to these studios at all times, I still went and built a studio in my house, spent ungod amount of money. Like इतनी भयंकर रुपए मैंने खर्च किए. Again, I'm not trying to flex. Why? Because if there is a space that allows you to make videos with the least friction possible.
I think it's convenient. Like, suppose I shoot my content, right? So I have, in my office, I have a tripod setup. I have mic kept there. I have my chair kept there. I just go, put my phone, attach the camera, put the wireless, whatever mic I have, and sit on the wall and press record. That's it. Like, as frictionless as possible so that I don't have to open the tripod, figure out a location to shoot. So I think that way the infrastructure is pretty getting good. So I come from a town which is not that big. So I've realized uske around me there are people opening these podcast studios as a business, like as a business opportunity. People opening these editing agencies कि ठीक है अगर आपके पास editor नहीं है, we'll edit content for you. All the traditional marketing agencies are now shifting कि they're pitching content to their clients कि आप content करो. So I think वो जो ecosystem थोड़ा build हुआ है उसके अब ripple effects tier 1 से tier 2, tier 3 में भी आ रहे हैं. Creator workspaces पहले tier 1 में बने, right? All the podcast studios and all were majorly in Delhi, Bangalore, Bombay, right? But now आपको ऐसे शहरों में भी मिलेंगे, मतलब कोई ना कोई तो वहाँ पे उस तरह का एक concept बना रहा है.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm feeling nice about this, so I just want to flex. So when we, like, we were doing like Gen Z when we just started, we were interviewing candidates, potential candidates to join, right? We had around 8,000 applications. To be honest, we shortlisted around 40 something students.
We rolled out, like we went through all the applications, we were doing one-on-one calls with them. And I think we wanted to cherry pick basically because we wanted to pick people who were damn interested in creating content, because अगर किसी का सिर्फ hobby की तरह करना है ना तो एकदम से हम उसको outcome नहीं दे पाएंगे. Right? If you are genuinely interested, you want to do something in the creative space, then so that's why we've cherry picked all the candidates.
So from 8,000 you got to 48.
48, right? Now in that 48, some got scholarship, some didn't get scholarship, and the ones who didn't get scholarship, who we told like this is the fees you have to pay and everything, they said no, it's a little too high. We'll do it on our own. My theory is that everybody who's joined here, everybody started posting content, and I still stopped the ones who said no, I'll do it on my own. Not one of them have posted content.
People, like the students of Gen Z's, the content, they have access to all our studios that we have built. They have access to all the people like you, all the people who have been in the ecosystem, who are like the trailblazers, whatever you say of content, right? They have 24/7 access to all of us where they can ask questions and all of that. And if you see their videos, they look as good as what AV, Yas and all
I loved the fact that, so we were talking to one of the students who had just come before the podcast had started, and this guy's creating content for the first time, and immediately he's like, यहाँ पे मैं L cut डाल दूंगा. He's not an editor. So this is a 400-man organization, out of which I presume like 250, 280, almost 300 are editors. The fact that he's surrounded with so many editors, he's able to just osmosis ke through pick everything up.
So you know what? I was coming to this point of osmosis only. I think we learn a lot by osmosis. So I think these guys, when they're around here, and this is for the people who are missing out, these guys access to all these conversations, 24 घंटा उनके पास. So it's somewhere getting in their subconscious, conscious memory. तो वो उनको, I think the rate of learning becomes very fast.
Correct.
Yeah. The other day, bro, Achina came. She had a class. She was taking this class, and through the class, she started with, "I'll make you write, script like Johnny Harris." And she started the class, started the session. In half an hour, everybody had a 20-minute script of Johnny Harris.
Wow.
And she told how you can do this with just AI. And everybody's like, shit, I never ever thought I'll use AI like this. Now that has to happen for even the faceless content or your slop, where you're thinking of how to see something, understand what went right, and how to replicate it, and while replicate it, make it better, not replicate it. If you replicate it, it drops quality.
Right.
So if you think of making it better, then it's on par.
Right.
And if you actually make it better, you hit it out of the park.
And I think I was talking to few students today. I think the concepts they have, they're really good.
Yeah.
I think if things work out, I think they'll be.
Yeah. So for example, one of the guy has something known as AI man. Now the fact, and we have like an entire wardrobe which has different costumes.
Yeah.
And now these guys are playing 7 different characters, which they would not have done themselves.
You remember we created an IP called the AI Rangers.
Right,
We wanted to wear the proper SPD suit, Power Ranger suit, and do content. I think they can probably pull off that. They have AI as well.
Yeah.
So they can.
One of the things that I also want to do, like, so we have the cohort, right? And most of the cohort students, a lot of them we hire ourselves. And when they are just graduating, they probably, like, most of them are beginners, so they've just been editing for 3 months, sometimes a little longer. But the fact is, the moment they come here, and they all know, every single student who's joining our cohort, they are internet savvy. They're not some kids who don't know how to edit. They know, they can go to YouTube, they can learn. But the fact is that they come here, they know कि बाहर ये वाले tools हैं, ये AI tools हैं, इससे मिड जर्नी से आप इस तरीके से जनरेट कर सकते हो, आप रनवे ML से ये छोटे मोटे एनिमेशन बना सकते हो. But the fact is, जैसे ही वो आते हैं यहाँ पे, they are able to understand, because there are 400 different folks who are doing this, and every single one of them are using this tool in a different mechanism. एक बंदा है जिसको एडिटिंग बहुत बेहतरीन तरीके से आती है, उसको पेसिंग करना बहुत बढ़िया से आता है, डिजाइनिंग बहुत ही बकवास है. So he will go and he'll see this one designer and he'll see, oh, you're using the AI to use this design. This is so crazy, bro. I can do it. So what they're doing is essentially they're able to get access to the workspace and they're able to compensate. Okay, my editing is strong, but my design is weak. But thanks to the osmosis and thanks to seeing the way they use the tool, they're able to compensate through the AI their design. So they'll use ideogram or they'll use Midjourney and they're able
Have
to.
you read the Mr. Beast memo?
No, I'm not. I have, but I don't remember. It's too big.
There's a small section where he says that for the most amount of time, Mr. Beast and his team, they just had learning sessions where everyone, they would learn and they would share the learning with the other people. I think it's a kind of replica of that okay, someone is pretty advanced, they learned something, they are kind of helping each other, and similarly you are good at something, you'll help me out, he's good at something, you'll help. So it's the same thing that ultimately it all came down to that we all are learning machines, and if we get the right environment, we can learn pretty fast, then I think we can do a lot.
So if you're a creator who wants to actually learn and you feel like you're not just able to catch up to the folks who are creating content outside, figure out how you can get into one of these creator workspace. Ideally ours. I think we are pushing the boundary better, but if you can't, there are plenty that are available. YouTube has launched their own creator workspaces as well. You can get access to that.
point बोला था ना कि there are a lot of tools available, a lot of things already, free information available on the internet, but it's a motivation problem. YouTube पे सब कुछ available है, bro. Like whatever anyone is teaching.
I love this quote called YouTube is the library of Alexandria before it burned out into 100,000. That's how massive YouTube is.
It does everything, right? But if you just search, वो था ना कि आप जीनी से जो मांगो आपको वो मिलेगा. If you just search for it, you will get it. But the biggest incentive here is that the osmosis thing, right? Like you are learning with a community of people who push your motivation high.
That's why colleges work.
Yeah, जैसे आप solo learning में, I think 1 out of 1,000 एक बंदा होगा 1000 में से जो कर सकता है self learn कि मैं YouTube पे देखूंगा सब सीख लूंगा. Possible, very good. But बहुत से लोग हैं जो नहीं कर सकते. It's a motivation problem, which I think these kind of infrastructures solve.
Yeah. All right. One last thing that I want to talk about is, let's talk about one of the things that I've seen a rise of, even if you're मैं जब creator बनने की कोशिश कर रहा था, either मैं KSI बनूंगा, मैं Logan Paul बनूंगा, या मैं at least एक ऐसे stage पे पहुंच जाऊंगा जहाँ पे मैं millions of views consistently through every single video pull कर पा रहा हूँ, तभी ये करियर सस्टेनेबल है. उसके ऊपर नहीं है, उसके नीचे तो बिल्कुल ही नहीं है. रिसेंटली व्हाट हैज चेंज, अगर आप अनसक्सेसफुल क्रिएटर हो, आप जाके डिफरेंट ब्रांड्स के लिए कंटेंट बना सकते हो एंड यू आर एबल टू मेक मनी ऑफ दैट. दैट इज व्हाट आई वांट टू नो, बिकॉज यू हैव काइंड ऑफ गॉटन एक्सेस टू अ लॉट ऑफ दीज फैमिली बिजनेसेस. यू नो हाउ दे आर थिंकिंग अबाउट कंटेंट एंड व्हाट दे आर उनका फैसिनेशन क्या होता है. दैट इज व्हाट आई वांटेड टू नो फ्रॉम यू.
फ्रॉम the conversations I have with brands and मतलब उसमें अभी भी बहुत सारी agencies involved हैं और उनकी वही I think still they have those basic demands कि reel बना दो, we want ad rights, we want to run ads on your face, piggyback.
But how much are they ready to pay?
I think it depends. Honestly, it varies from brand to brand. Like कुछ brand की demands होती है सिर्फ एक reel, so they might be on a lower side. But कुछ brand की demands
lower side is how much?
Like फिर भी एक number अगर तुझे बताना हो.
I think 50-60 के तो depends on what scale, like at what amount of followers you are asking, right? and अगर there's a big brand, they want some ad rights, और अगर उस तरह से भी कुछ चाहिए तो I think it all depends on how good are you at negotiations with the brand, because brand को चाहिए मैं अभी 50-60 की मैंने सपोज एक नंबर बोल दिया, मैं इसको कोई अच्छा नेगोशिएटर होगा, दे कैन टेक इट टू 2-3L, सेल इट इन अ नाइस वे, पैकेज इट इन अ नाइस वे. सो आई थिंक ब्रांड्स जो फैमिली बिजनेसेस वाले हैं, I think they have hired a lot of interesting new agencies or new people who know about influencer marketing and stuff, and they are pushing these kind of family businesses ki bhai get the influencers on board and get into the new age trend marketing. This is what I've observed. I'm not sure, like, do all the family business are thinking like this, but the teams which have all this new generation talent, they are thinking in this direction.
So many of like 22-23-year-olds are now making videos for real estate channels. They are making videos for like cup noodles. They are making videos for ice cream, and they are all making बढ़िया पैसा कमा रहे भाई.
Like there's a lot of scope for UGC brand, right? Like you can be a failed creator and you just go one day, create that content for the brand. They'll pay you for the content piece and they do what they want with it. They'll hold IP.
Basically, your face, you're making money off your face. It's like being a model. You are a model, you're wearing fashion clothes for, say, a big fashion brand. You're walking on a ramp walk, you give them the photos and they use the photos. It's like you are the face, you make content for their product, you give them the video, they run the ads and make money out of it.
And this has really taken off very recently. Like I know 20,000 followers के जो हैं, जो 30,000 followers हैं, 5,000 followers हैं जिनके, वो भी बहुत बेहतरीन तरीके.
मेरे को ऐसा लगता है जैसे suppose if in our business as well, right, we wanna run an ad. मैं पूरा हमारे पास तो चलो we have a lot of infra, right, but एक normal brand के perspective से सोचते हैं, like they would wanna hire a photography team, उनको एक model को बुलाना पड़ेगा, उनको एक प्रॉपर शूट अरेंज करना पड़ेगा, पूरा इंफ्रा सेट करना, डे टाइम ये वो, इतना पैसा लगाना पड़ेगा. वॉट अगर उनको उनके ब्रांड का काम है एक क्रिएटर को हायर करके कि तू भाई तू जैसा बनाता है वैसा बना, दिस इज द मनी वी आर ऑफरिंग यू, और हमें एड राइट्स दे दे, तो उनका काम हो गया.
दिस इज स्पेसिफिकली वेरी प्रोमिनेंट इन प्रोटीन मार्केट.
अब तो सारी में ही है, लाइक इफ यू सी स्किन केयर, a lot of people you see all these skin care ads, I would say health supplements, fitness वाले, मतलब हर जगह ही दिख रहा है. I think if anyone just opens their Instagram and they just swipe through the stories or probably see the reels, they'll see a lot of UGC creator ads.
And that's becoming a really
it's like an additional income for creators, I think. कि भाई मतलब मैं अगर अभी 10,000, suppose I'm at 10,000 followers, कोई ब्रांड कहता है कि आप मेरे लिए बना दो, तो मैं बना दूंगा कि मेरे को तो पैसे मिल रहे हैं ना एक्स्ट्रा, मतलब
एक महीने की सैलरी है ब्रो.
हाँ, तो for any kid who is say 20-22, it's like good college pocket money, bro. Like I can live my life. मेरे को मंथली पैसे बनने, मेरे को घर से मांगने की जरूरत ही नहीं है पैसे.
I know a 22-year-old. She's earning close to 1 lakh just doing this. So she's the face of some brand. Weekly once she'll have to go shoot. They pay her.
I know a couple of people, bro. They charging like 15K for some few seconds voiceovers. What is voiceover, bro? You can AI generate it now, but
वो क्रेडिबिलिटी चाहिए, वो वाइब चाहिए, वो क्रिएटर चाहिए. या
तो अब 15,000 रुपये ऐसा 20 साल का, मैं सपोज मैं कॉलेज में पढ़ता हूँ, मेरे को 20 साल की उम्र में 15,000 रुपये पर महीना भी आ रहा है एक ब्रांड का, तो मेरे को क्या प्रॉब्लम है ब्रो? मेरे को घर से पैसे नहीं मांगना, आई कैन गिव माई ओन फीस.
That's for sure.
So I think it's a ripple effect of the creator infrastructure being built. जो बाकी मार्केटिंग मैनेजर्स है, दे आर पुशिंग ब्रांड्स, अपने ब्रांड्स को, एजेंसीज पुशिंग कि भाई आप इस रूट पे जाओ. द सोशल मीडिया एज एन इकोसिस्टम इज गेटिंग बिल्ड. सो वो होता ना कि वो मार्केट जैसे जैसे बढ़ रहा है तो वो साथ में सबको आगे ले जा रहा है.
One of the interesting facts that I learned was over half the US ad spend is all on social media now.
There might be a thing called ad fatigue as well, no, कि मैं कितने ad देखूं भाई.
And creators' ability to understand.
No, but the point over here is the agencies that come with you, they'll generate a GPT script which looks like an ad, and they'll make creators do it.
I think the best one would be to like give the free hand to the creator, let them do it.
But they don't trust. They have no trust.
With a certain guardrail. मतलब ऐसा, मतलब यार अगर
even with that guardrail, there's no trust. They're just like, because they have to answer to someone.
One of the things I've realized is if you're a creator, you want to be a creator, you are realizing ki bro, right now the kind of content I'm making is not able to bring me brand deals that is able to sustain my life, but I need to make money somehow and I want to do this. The best thing that you can do is you take your 10,000 follower, 20,000 follower page, go to almost all the companies now are open to hiring you as a person to create content for them.
Yeah, we have been receiving so many offers, no, where people want to hire creators in-house.
Go and become real estate companies are dying because रियल एस्टेट को मार्केट करना बहुत मुश्किल है, ठीक है, बहुत मुश्किल है. अब तो वो ऑटोमेटिकली बिक जाते हैं बिकॉज इट्स लाइक लैंड है और फ्लैट है, तो वो हमारा फोमो इंडिया में चलता रहता है. पर रियल एस्टेट कंपनीज वुड लव फॉर अ इन हाउस क्रिएटर. और छोटे छोटे बिल्डर्स की बात कर रहा हूं मैं, बड़ी बड़ी भी नहीं.
Like Gen Z में, I think we have been receiving a lot of emails, DMs. कि we need creators, guys. We need creators.
Bro, Hardex told me, Sid told me he wants to hire 10. I'm like, I can't give you 10.
Yeah, bro, it's insane the amount of people. So if you're a
And also, it's like now we have the ability with this creator ecosystem getting built. Like say any brand, they have the ability to create multiple IPs at a fair price, which gives them more shots to the target and increases. If 2 of them out of the 10 works, I think they are sorted.
yeah.
New user acquisitions, brand name, brand awareness, more sponsorship, more brand deals, XYZ, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
All right, that was a good session, guys. What do you guys think?
Amazing.
Pretty
I
fun.
like
All right, guys, we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.